I got bored. Good way to start a video. Unfortunately, this week it's just me and Jack, but we still have some good crack. I say this week.
I've just realised the fucking chin shop's hanging out with visor.
Is it? Oh shit.
There you go. I need to clean that fucking helmet.
Yeah.
Visor's mad.
That is pretty dirty, but
I fucking rode it on the back road, going past the services while doing all work. I was stuck behind a lorry and it was fucking dirty.
you basically just drove behind a fucking fuck off lorry, spraying shit everywhere. No wonder it's dirty.
Yeah. I need to clean it.
The only thing dirty then that's my mind.
Ethan's just for
Ethan's a fever. No, I was helping this lass out with the problems the other night, and she said, "Oh, it's so hard just to like talk about things." Every time she said it's so hard, I just went, "That's what she said." We were literally having this most serious conversation I've had probably in my entire life, but every time she said it, I was like, "That's what she said."
Yeah,
that's what she said.
You've got a childish mind.
No, I am a child still though. For now.
My fault.
Yeah, I've only got a few months after being a child, like February.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun when I turn 18. Honestly, I think turning 18 is going to be quite scary. Because it's like, you don't know what's going to happen. So you become an adult now, and you're like, Because there's stuff that you can do as a kid that you can't get away with as an adult. Isn't that?
Yeah.
It's quite scary if you think about it. Because most people are like, oh yeah, 18, go, I'm going to buy alcohol, buy jobs, get tattoos and ruin my life. Like, granted, I'm probably going to do all three of them, but actually I'm not going to ruin my life, actually, well. Because I'm getting tattoos, I'm going to get one of my, probably get one on my birthday. Obviously, everyone buys alcohol, so I'm just going to try and not fuck up my life too much. But yeah, it is quite nervous with cadets. Why did I say cadets? Let's talk about cadets, because there's something actually on the last podcast. Because if for all of us who don't know, even though he's wearing an army t-shirt, it's confusing. We're part of the Air Cadets, me and him. Ethan,
I'm sat wearing a Royal Engineer
in our last video, he is an ex-army cadet. James and Arthur, who are going to be in some later future videos, are cadet as well. And Jake, who's also going to be in videos, is an ex-cadet.
He's an ex-air cadet, and he also is at the military college.
I used to go to that military college. Pretty good, to be fair, that military college is pretty good, MPCT. Shout out to MPCT Bishop Auckland. It's a good college. The only reason I left was because it's not like a college where you go to do A levels and stuff. It's there to help get your fitness up, help with your mainly deferrals for the army, and help you get in the army. And most people who want to go in the army, want to go in as a private, go to these things. There's not many officers, so
yeah.
The highest.
So you don't have people who's got their head so far up their own arse.
Well, to be fair, I'm going as an officer. I haven't got my head up my arse. That's the reason I left, because I wanted to try and get qualifications so I could go as an officer.
You've got your head a bit far up your arse.
A bit, but not as much as other people.
Not as much as people who,
yeah.
because they're fucking pricks.
Yeah.
End of.
They honestly are kind of good pricks, people like that. But the thing is with being deferred, yeah. So I've applied for the army, being deferred. How fun is that? Apparently I've got something wrong with my heart. Didn't know anything about that, but yeah. So that's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we can talk about cadets a lot, because honestly we can run on about the problems at cadets for many a days.
Oh, many hours.
Because there's a woman at cadets, right? If she sees this, we're fucked. I'm not gonna say her name, because if she does find out this, we are going to get so bollocked. Because
we're getting bent over the office desk and anal. End of.
Yeah.
That's how bad it's going to be.
I made a joke the other day and she didn't seem very happy about it. Because we were doing a Christmas quiz on our last night. Were you there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And do you know when they said, can you name, the question was, can you name the 7 dwarfs? I said, if I write no, is that the right answer? Because I can't. So technically that's the right answer.
Yeah.
Saying that, we were the only group to actually name all 7. Because we didn't know them. We were one of the only groups to name all 7. Oh, we weren't marking yours, were we?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were marking yours. Yeah, so like, it was my group and your group, and we were like the only ones together. Which was quite funny.
So I pulled up on his phone cheekily.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Do you know what DNA? Do you know what the question was? What does DNA mean?
Yeah.
Definitely didn't Google that on my watch. That's the only question we cheated on.
Oh no, Will knew it. He just wrote it down in a stupid fucking way, so it'll pick different words.
I did kind of know it.
I have no fucking clue. I hate biology.
It's chemistry, isn't it?
No, that's what it's about biology as well.
Well, it's biology and chemistry.
Yeah.
Because it's like an acid. So fun talking about biology and chemistry. Yeah,
you
you're in chemistry exam. I got kicked out of it for having my phone.
Yeah, I took physics first year of A levels.
Honestly, like, go back to when you do GCSEs and they're doing your mocks and like, always hand in your phone because every year there's always one person who doesn't hand in their phone and gets a 0 on it and you're sitting there. That's never going to happen. Like, who's thick enough for that to happen?
And then
that happened to me and I was like, for fuck's sake. Honestly. So it was my first chemistry exam out of the 2 papers that I got my phone on. I didn't cheat or anything, it's just I forgot to hand it in.
Because didn't you walk in slightly late?
No, I was on time. Oh, I was mentioned. I think it was a history exam. I was slightly late too. But no, it's because we were wearing because we were given our leavers hoodies before the exam started, and we were allowed to wear them at school. So we could, instead of our blazer. So that's what we did. So most people wore the leavers hoodie, but you weren't allowed to wear your hoodie in the exam hall. You had to wear your blazer. So what we'd do is we'd take our hoodies off, put our blazer on before we went in and leave it in our bag. So me not doing that, I didn't know what was in my blazer, and I'd left one of my old phones in there. So I had a phone for music, I had a phone for texting,
and a phone for
drug dealing, and a phone for gaming.
And drug dealing.
I don't drug deal, Jack. And I think it was the gaming phone that I'd left in my blazer pocket. It hadn't got a SIM card in or anything, and it didn't have access to the internet at the time because I didn't have the school Wi-Fi. So I couldn't have done anything on it. But I leaned up against the desk when I was writing and I fell and went, shit, I've got a phone in my pocket.
But to be honest, what you should have done in that circumstances, shouldn't have said shite.
But I do get notifications off the games and stuff. So it could have went off, and it did go off after I handed it in. So if that went off, so it's better to hand it in and say, look, I've sold the phone. Then, because I thought, right, it was only like 10 minutes into the exam. The exam was an hour and 45. And I was thinking that if I handed it in myself, being like, look, I've literally wrote like 2 words. I haven't cheated or anything. You know what I'm saying? Look, it's there. I had to write a statement about it. I thought I'd get away with it, but no. So they disqualified us, but they still made us sit the second paper. So even though I was getting no marks for it, I had to go sit paper knowing full well I was getting a 0 on it.
Well, yeah.
I literally could have wrote about anything, Nazis, ISIS, fucking LGBT, and I would have got the exact same grade as if I gave me 100% effort. And that's how shit it was. It's just annoying, like, you go to them and they're like, nah, they're not giving you anything.
Yeah, I fucking hated chemistry and biology at GCSE. It was the worst fucking ones. I didn't mind physics, even though we had
physics was good.
Even though we had that fucking bitch hard.
We did have it. The thing is, though, like, at Whitworth, I was predicted a 2. I was, like, in my mocks and I was getting 2s. Went to Woodham for how long? Like 3 months?
Yeah.
Got a 6. So like 4 grades.
Wow.
But all those don't know, I left school, well, didn't really got expelled, in year 11 in February.
You gonna explain the reason why?
I threw a chair off someone because he was saying awful shit. Like, it's that bad, what they were saying. I'm not going to say it on YouTube because I know for 100% fact, I say any about it. This video will be like, demonetised, age restricted, it'll be like, they're not going to push it because of what it was said. What that person said to me was so awful. Like, YouTube were like, no, we're not having it. And that was going on for 4 years, and one day I just like, I snapped and I picked up the chair and they were off them.
Yeah. Would you?
Funny if they find this. Yeah.
Oh god.
Do you know their partner now went to PCT?
Isn't he in the Navy?
He's in the Navy.
Yeah.
But it's just shit. But,
no,
yeah. But nothing happened to them, even though they said that.
That's fucking stupid though.
Yeah. It is quite bad, but at the end of the day, it was an awful school and I was glad I was gone. So, like, Woodham's not, like, obviously, no schools are the best, but...
It's called Shitworth for a reason.
Yeah.
Every student calls it Shitworth.
Even people who don't call it that.
Yeah. It's that fucking bad.
It is really bad. It's like the 3rd worst school. It was either the northeast of the UK, I can't remember. It was just the northeast. It was really bad when it got offset when we left.
I think you had the second worst offside rating you could have when we left.
We failed offside. There was only they were meant to be like, oh, it's because no one's making a predictive grade. It wasn't. It's because it was a shit school. It was horrendous. Like the teacher, who like basically got us expelled, didn't like me because like edgy jokes I made. Because in my English speaking exam, I decided to make like anti-feminazi jokes. I've got nothing wrong with feminism. Like men and women are equal, but like, it's the women who go over the top. Like women are better than men, and like who try and put men down. Those ones I can't stand. Like it's the same. Men who do that to women are just the same, but everyone knows about them. It's like women who do that, not many people know about it. I was just making light jokes about it at the end of my exam because I thought it'd be funny because everyone's English speaking exam is like pretty dull topic. You're like, no one really wants to do it. So I thought if I did that, it'd be funny. She kicked off about it, saying that she knew that they were my personal views and that she knew I hated women. She knew I was a sexist pig and stuff like that. She's like, well, I fucking not. Just because I've got a friend who the person I sit next to in class made saying he hated feminists like a lot. It doesn't mean that's how I feel, and she couldn't understand it. And then it was literally her lesson that I'd made those jokes in, and then I went to my maths lesson afterwards, and that's when the chair incident happened. So it was the same day as me making those jokes. I got
considering we all gone to shit once.
With the biscuits?
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, it's like... It's quite funny, like, you talk about these people a lot. So what happened is, during school, you had like a conference room, and sometimes they would leave it unlocked, sometimes they wouldn't. It was like right next to like some important person's office. And then
it was next to the head... No,
yeah, it was next to the head teacher's office.
And there was a door into the head teacher's room.
So it was the head teacher's office, the conference room, and then the library and the conference room and the head teacher's room were connected by a door. But what we would do is we would go into the conference room and like take the biscuits and like the sweets and everything they left on the table, because they're all in individual packets, and we just take them just for the crack. It was quite funny.
Couldn't be ours going down again, the shitty ones from...
Which we had to pay for at the college. Like, it was like, what, 70 pence for a biscuit, but those were awful. Whereas these actual decent ones were
they tasted worse than Rat Pack ones.
Yeah.
And Rat Packs...
No, they're quite nice. So, if you get the ones in the purple packets, they're really nice.
Yeah, but have you ever had the sesame seed bars?
No, they are awful.
They are awful. They break
do you know like the fruit ones?
Oh, they're nice.
God tier. Honestly lovely.
Wait.
Yeah, but...
Good thing they've literally...
Have you got some?
They are a Rat Pack. Drinks.
Oh, the Coke one's shit. I don't know if it's because I didn't put enough in, but I had one and it was awful.
Oh no, I had a hot chocolate which I had given. I had chocolate orange. Hot chocolate.
No, was it good?
It was fucking nice.
Yeah, so we would go into the, after a little tangent, we'd go and take the biscuits, come out. And then the one day I wasn't there, I went for my interview at the sixth form.
Oh yeah.
The one day I wasn't there, you all get caught doing it. You know, we're not.
I didn't get caught because I was stood outside in the corner.
But the people who, so you were on watch, but everyone who went in got caught. Like, so we do it. We were doing it for what, 6 months? Honestly, we were doing it for about 6 months.
6 months straight, like
every day.
Nearly every
if it was unlocked, never got caught once. Second, the one day I'm not there, you get caught.
Fucking Mrs. Bowman.
The thing is, it was me. It was my idea to go in and steal them and take them. It was me who did it the most.
It was
But then it was literally I had one day off.
It was Jake and Alfie who ran in to grab him. Basically, you know how the entrance was down, there was like a corner here?
Yeah.
I was stood there on my phone, keeping an eye out for teachers.
Yeah.
And basically, I saw Mrs. Bowman coming off the fag break. And then I just started I literally went off my phone, put it away and started walking. Apparently I was there stealing them.
You're an accomplice. They just wanted a reason to have a go at you.
Yeah.
Honestly, you would have had a go at me if I was there, because he hated me, that's good. I think the fact that I wasn't there, like, even if I was in at all that day, even if I had detention, they'd be like, well, you were doing it.
They fucking hated us.
Honestly, I don't know why though.
Aspline didn't like us.
It's the thing is though, so we weren't like...
Jackson didn't like us.
She wasn't too bad though, when she saw us at Woodland.
She didn't like me at all.
Yeah, but she didn't like when I was at Woodland, she did.
Do you remember the best one? Madison.
Oh,
she
thing is though, like, we weren't like bad kids, were we?
No.
Like we weren't the nerds, and yeah, we messed about a bit, but there were people worse than us, like a lot worse. So I don't see why they hated us so much.
Fuck knows.
So it's just annoying. Like there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly. And the thing is though, like, there's always someone like that who will hate you for no reason.
Oh no, considering
Like we've got them like cadets as well, haven't we?
Don't fucking mention him, innit?
Yeah, that person.
Yeah.
Which we're not going to mention for legal reasons, and basically, because if you do mention them, we're going to get fucked when we go back to cadets.
Oh yeah. We all get fucked hard.
Yeah.
No, but teachers just like to take fucking control of anything that you want to do.
Like, I do see that the fact, yeah, they are in charge and have the responsibility of the teachers. But Miss Vasey was the worst.
She wasn't too bad with me.
Oh, she hated me.
More.
Miss Vasey was the worst, honestly. Because you know how my mum made us do triple science? I didn't really want to, so when I was at the lessons, at first, like, so year 10, I was like, don't really want to be here. I was fine with physics though, I liked physics. So I was alright in physics lessons with Stanley. And the biology lessons,
Stanley wasn't too.
I liked the teacher, and I tried, but chemistry, it just didn't do work for us. Like, I got a U in it. If I didn't get a U, I probably would have got like a 2. I just couldn't see it. I didn't get anything.
Oh no, I hate, like, mine was being top physics, then chemistry, then biology.
Like, I just don't see how, I just can't get it to work for us for whatever reason. But the teacher I had in year 10 was okay. She was alright, but wasn't the best.
Which one did you have in year 10?
Coleman.
No, fuck.
But then when I went in year 11 and I got Vasey for chemistry.
And you got more for physics.
Yeah, I had more for physics. People, all my friends who had her, because I was in like B band, most of my mates were in A band, you all had her before, and people as well who have her were saying how awful she is. So I was going into her lessons thinking she's awful, going to a class that I had no idea with, and they were asking us like, the first thing she asked was like, why do you all pick triple science? This is year 11. And I said, my mum made us, which is the truth. Like she made me, it was my mum who made me do triple science. So I said that's the truth. And she's like, oh, there's no need to be cocky. Like, I'm not being cocky. You asked why we chose it, and that is why. And then she was like, oh, you should just like leave. And you're not doing it. Like, so you're trying to kick us off. So from day one of having her, she tried to get us kicked out basically. And the thing is though, I did have her. She was my tutor in year 10, wasn't she? And we had an incident in then, and she didn't like us. Because what had happened is, on Friday we were meant to do a quiz. Most people in our class didn't really want to do the quiz because they thought it was boring. So she said, right, you can either do the quiz or you can play a hangman. So we said, we'll put it to a vote. I'll vote for the quiz, because I like a quiz every now and then, and to be fair, my class weren't the best quizzes, and I'm quite good at quizzes, so I'd win every time. But most people wouldn't do hangman, which was fair enough, so they did hangman. I think so. We were doing it on Friday. I think on the Wednesday, I went flying, so I had the whole day off school. But I'd asked teachers for work that I could do, and I hadn't actually been able to do my physics work because I didn't have enough time. So I thought, right, I'm in a science classroom for form, and I've got science work to do. Yeah, I'm in a chemistry classroom and doing physics, but she knows enough about physics to teach it. So she could, if I needed help, I could help. So I was doing it then, and Rebecca picked the phrase, and because I know Rebecca, because I was obviously going out with her, I knew it. I knew her, I knew what it was, and I knew what to do, because it was a film, and you could do with Twilight. I figured out what film it was, and there wasn't many letters on, so I said, Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. And then because I'd answered, she was like, oh, you can do it. I was like, oh, I don't want to, I'd prefer doing my work. She said, no, you're going to play hangman. Like, no, I want to do my work though.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And then she threatened to, she said, because obviously I wanted to join the military, and she said that if in the military I'm told to go bomb a city that's full of civilians, and I refuse, I'm going to kick out the army. Or one, no one's going to fucking tell us to go bomb a city full of civilians. Two, if I know it's full of civilians, I have every right to say I'm not doing that. Because I know it's going to kill endangered species. So one, she innocent people is what I meant. So she needs to shut the fuck up and not talk about shit she doesn't understand. Because I think one of her husband's brother or something's in the RAF. So she's an expert in the fact. She's fucking not. And then she threatened to exclude us. Jenny, she threatened to get me kicked.
So wait, she threatened to get you kicked out of school for about a week for refusing to play hangman.
Because I wanted to do work, yes.
Logic.
Yeah, so she was having a proper go at me in front of the whole class. I refused to play hangman. I refused to go up at all because the thing is, she was like, "Well, you voted to play hangman." Actually, I voted to do the quiz. So shut the fuck up, right? So she's having a go at me in front of the whole class. She then keeps me back after class, has a go at us then, and then before 4 the next day, she keeps us outside and talks to us because my mum rung up school and complained about her, bringing the military into it, because that was like unacceptable. My mum probably kicked off about that. And obviously, because my auntie went to that school as well and had Miss Vesey, she hated Miss Vesey, and Miss Vesey hated her apparently. So then in class ones, physics, and the next year, chemistry, I had enough of her being up because she was a cunt to us basically, and I had enough, and I pulled her in front of the whole class. She's like, "Oh, what do I ever do? Well, you always like talk down to us, you always have a go at us, and like I know I'm not the best at this subject, but like you're just awful to us." She's like, "Well, I've got witnesses pointing to the class, like to say that I'm not there." Well, one, most of them would probably agree with me that you treat me unfairly, like because at this point Rebecca was in the class, we'd broken up, and she didn't like us anymore. But even she, I bet she would have stuck up for me and said that Miss Vesey does treat us a bit shit. And then I said, and the thing is though, there's not always someone there. She's like, "I've never once been alone with you." And yes, you have. There's been 2 cases from the hangman incident alone. She kept me back after class and stopped us going into class and talking to us when it was just me and her. There were 2 incidents and I told her that there was in. She's like, "Oh, you need to stop talking," and I'd get out of my class. I went, "Fine, I'm going," and I just stood up and walked out. So I wasn't taking shit from her because, like, if I'd fucked up and she was having a go at us, I'd understand, but I hadn't done anything. All I was saying is that I didn't like the way she treated us, and then I told her that we had actually been alone together, not in that way. Fuck off. Have you seen it? No. And then I stopped. So I walked out.
No, the school was shit.
Yeah, honestly, it was awful.
Because we were forced to do fucking language. That was complete bullshit.
Thing is, though,
the amount of times both of us tried to drop French.
Funny one thing is, you could have asked to be moved down into the lower band. So we'll just call them bands 1, 2 and 3 because I can't remember the colours. So 1's the top, 3's the bottom.
Magenta.
Fuck, the colours, yeah, but these weren't understandable.
Something like that.
So 1, we were in 1, and if you were in 1, you had to do a language. So some people are asked to be moved from 1 to 2 because they didn't want to do a language, want to do something else. But the funny thing was my mum forced me to do triple science. You had to be in 1 to do triple science. So if I had to do, my mum was forced me to do triple science, and being in there, I had to do French. So there were 2 of my 3 options taken straight away. So so the only choice I had was between history and geography. 2 things that I was good at. I was getting 7s in year 9. I was getting 7s in history and 6s in geography.
No, but I was like, I would do the. I couldn't be asked arguing with the school about the bands, but I was like, okay, I'll take French and see how it goes. And if I hate it, I'm going to get.
They
shifted.
said that I was given the opportunity to drop French at one point, but if I did, it means I'd be moved out of my history class, and it means I wouldn't get Mr. Hoban.
Oh, yeah, I'm probably sticking.
So I stayed in the end.
I was hoping to it.
Because you remember when we went to Mr. Braithwaite and he said like, "Oh, I've already had a parent on the phone about it all." That was my mum he was talking about, but he didn't actually know it was me. Because he didn't really get, because he didn't really understand.
It wasn't Braithwaite, it was Potts, wasn't it?
Potts has left at this point, hasn't he?
No. What's when you left last year?
Oh. Well, whoever we went to, my mum had phoned them and, yeah. But
yeah.
Thing is, right, when I went to Woodham, they had a lot more options than we did. So
did you not see him the year after we left?
No, because not like options to choose from. We only had 3 options. We had 3 choices, yeah. They had 4.
Oh.
Everyone had to take French though. So do you know how we had to take French, but it was one of our choices, so we only really had 2. They had to do French, but still had 4.
Actually, no. Realistically, we had 1 choice.
Yeah, because it was history or geography, which is still a choice, but then French or German. But obviously we didn't do German, so we had to do French, and then the long list. So you could have done history and geography, but if I did history and geography, I wouldn't have been able to do triple science, and my mum was making me do triple science. And I thought because I was better at history, I chose history over geography.
Yeah, history was.
What we should do?
Well, history was more interesting.
History was a lot more, because obviously I wanted to go to uni and do history at this point. Obviously I've decided not to go to uni anymore because
You need a bit to shoot.
I don't want to spend like so much money in. I'm not doing proper A levels anymore. I'm doing like the BTEC course, a level 3 diploma. So.
Subdiv.
Public services.
Is it a sub-diploma?
Extended.
Yeah, that's because I'm doing a sub-diploma and then mine next year will be an extended diploma.
Well, it was extended. It's not called extended anymore. It's so we have level 3 in public services, and we've got a certificate and diploma. So I do 9 subjects in the year, whereas the certificate only do 6. So we've got an extra 3.
Yeah, I think that's mine. You get
it's a
6
year.
of a certificate and then 9 to get a diploma.
I think it's,
and then I think after that, in the second year, you have to do 16 topics over the year.
It's meant to, the 9 things meant to be a 1-year course, but we're doing 2 1-year courses. So I don't know what we do the next year.
Like I'm split between either sailing this course or dropping this course and doing the level 2 underneath it.
I need to piss. I am going to explore. After that amazing cut where I just disappeared to the toilet,
The camera died.
the camera's died. So we've got a backup camera, which is literally Jack's phone.
Taped to the tripod.
Which we've literally it's just been sellotaped to the tripod so we can see. Which
I
means,
just realised it's on the most wonky fucking angle
yeah, it's very
possible.
wonky. So it's going to be fun. And whilst
It's not too bad though.
Whilst the main camera's charged, we'll see if we can get a bit on this camera.
So, where were we? Where?
Honestly, I can't remember because I just disappeared from
I think
this.
it was about teachers and shit.
Just saying I should be just thought, yeah. Honestly, I'm glad school's over.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of miss it. Because compared to college, it is really easy. Like, you hear people saying, like, oh, like, school's really hard. Like, when you do it, yeah, it is kind of as hard.
Wait for fucking A levels.
But looking back at it now, we're on, like, A levels, you're like, fuck.
A levels are worse. End of.
Yeah. If I don't do anything in class, I just piss about. I honestly reckon I'll get kicked out of college soon because I don't do enough work.
Yeah, I'm going to think the same thing. There's actually one teacher we have on a Monday, like last on a Monday, which is about 4 o'clock for 2 hours. We have him for 2 hours on a Monday at 4 o'clock.
4 to 6?
4 to 6.
Fuck me. We have one at 2 or 5, which is 3 hours. But that teacher's a boy, but he's left now, so.
No, this.
Don't know.
Imagine the most boring teacher possible.
Yeah.
And times it by 10.
Fuck.
That's how bad this teacher is. So literally, there's a group of about 4 or 5 of us just sit on computers and play a game called Crunker.
Crunker?
Yeah. It's basically pixel, like, card kind of thing, so you can play prop hunt on it.
Right.
Free for all, team deathmatch and all that.
Capture the Flag, I think, is a good game.
Capture the flag,
But
that doesn't quite work on there though.
Oh, what's it called in Black Ops? Search and destroy, that's basically Capture the Flag, isn't it? Very similar. Get the bomb on
And it's
the target and block.
there's gun game.
Oh, gun game's one of the best
Gun games on it.
Gun game's brilliant.
Because literally normally I'm one setting up the game, so I just pick a couple of random maps. Put random game modes on there because normally we have free for all, team deathmatch, prop hunt, gun game, and infection on as default ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then basically any weapon you want, or any character you want. I was calling the game Agents.
Pretty sweet, that would be fair.
Because you got an AK, which is the standard default one. You got a sniper.
You know something cool about the AK? It costs more money to repair it than it does to replace it. So if someone damages an AK-47,
You just buy a new
they just
one.
buy a new one because it costs less money.
What is it? Is it the M16 was using being ammo, wasn't it? By the Americans. Yeah. The complete bottom half of that is plastic, and it was made by Mattel.
Come message from my ex.
Which one?
You make it sound like a slag. Recent one.
Ah.
Yeah, that one. I'm sending a link to this video when it comes up so she can watch it. Mentioning yeah. Cheers, Gemma. Shit, shouldn't have said her name.
Do you mean bleep out in it?
Could do.
No, I can't be arsed at this point.
This bastard. You got like a week to edit it. It's fine.
Oh, this one, yes.
See? Yeah, it's fine.
I've got
man.
like a week to edit this one.
You can edit it.
Yeah.
But it'll be good. It'll be good.
It's probably going to be obvious as fuck that we've just recorded two straight
Yeah.
on the same day.
It's the same day.
You just put a jacket on, I've just changed my shirt.
Oh, yeah, I try to make it look different, but I didn't, because Ethan's gone, and I didn't want to continue recording without Ethan on the first podcast.
You know what I was about to do? Grab my phone. Even though it's just an
have it
empty
forth.
fucking phone case.
Yeah, that's your phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, didn't want to record without Ethan, so we've made a second one, because the likelihood that we can actually get together to record another one before we want it to come out is quite low.
We've probably got like a week between Christmas and New Year for all of us to get together, and that's it. You could do one in the New Year before every fucking guy's back to college.
Yeah. I'm meant to go back on the 2nd. That's a Thursday, right? And I'm off on the Friday, so I don't see the point in going in for one.
Wait, you meant to come back on the 2nd?
The 2nd of January is when I'm meant to go back
That's
to college.
fucking bad. I don't come back until the 10th.
Most people. The 10th? But
My college comes back on Friday and I'm on comes back on the 7th, which is a Tuesday. I'm only in Mondays and Fridays.
well,
So really
that's the thing, we go back on the 2nd, which is the Thursday. I'm in on the Thursday for 3 hours, and I'm off the Friday. And I'm not the only one who said this, but a lot of people in my class have said that, what's the point of coming in? So they're not going to come in on the Thursday, which means they'll have the Thursday, the Friday, and the Saturday, the Sunday still, and then go back on the Monday, which is what it'll be the 6th, yeah. 2-11 till the 6th, everyone's just going to start the Thursday.
Which is when most ones go back.
Yeah. But people who have, like the other diploma, because there's 2 diploma classes, people in the other class are off, their days off Tuesday, so they're in Thursdays and Fridays, so they're going to have to go in on the 2nd. Because
Fair enough.
they can't miss both days. I was just missing one, because our teacher's probably not even going to be in on the Thursday. Like, I wouldn't go in if I was a teacher.
Who the fuck would? Just some sad fucker.
Yeah, to be fair,
My teacher.
pretty much sums it up. Like, I couldn't be asked to go in for like one day,
No.
because teachers get paid either way, don't they?
How many teachers do you have? Just one
We
or?
have 2.
I have 3.
We did have 3, but one of them's timetable changed, so we got 1 twice.
Okay.
No, we got 3 because I've got a form class, which we just basically got the gym for now.
Literally, we've got technically 4 include tutorial, but we've had that 0 times since we started college.
You didn't have a tutorial?
We have never had tutorial since we started
We have it
college.
on a Monday morning, all the
Ours
time.
is last thing on Friday. Good thing we've got 3 teachers: Steve, Brian, John. Steve's funny as fuck.
I'm guessing Brian's the dull one.
No, Brian's alright. John's a
John's the dull one. He's got a boring name, he's got a boring life. Does he spell it with the H or without?
H.
No, he's not. That dull one.
No, but Brian's alright. Yeah, Brian's XC. It's good.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Where are we going next to him?
No, but
Big up 1407.
Brian's the loudest fuck one.
Brian Blessed, isn't it? Can't even say that word.
What's it?
That's it. It wasn't Benedict Cumberbatch.
Tennis ball cricket match. That's lucky. Every time I talk to my mum about Benedict Cumberbatch, I always just say tennis ball.
I just said the
match.
fit one from Sherlock. And Doctor Strange.
Fair enough. No, but Brian's alright. He's a bit loud.
Loud!
He's got industrial deafness. And then Steve's
He
just...
can't even hear himself talk.
Yeah, basically. And then Steve's just one cracking off dad jokes.
Oh, that joke's gonna be quite funny, to be fair. I told someone, like, that's...
Oh no, comes in on last week. He came in wearing beard baubles.
Beard baubles.
Yeah. And he went to scratch his beard, grabbed a bauble by accident and pulled his hand away. So he ripped out a massive chunk of his beard.
Shit. Speaking of beards, I can see you're trying to grow one.
It's Christmas, I can't be asked to market that, so fuck it.
So mate, it'll be fun when I see what it looks like.
Literally, you got shitty sideburns and that's about it. Oh, no. Yeah. But like, there's fuck off.
Well, I get a bit of that. a tiny bit. Just takes ages to grow. So I shave every week, at least. Shave that probably every month. It just takes so long to grow in. And it's the hardest part of grow hair, you know, that little bit.
Yeah.
That's why most people don't actually shave after trying to grow a beard.
Oh no, mine grows out quite quickly. Well, I feel like off you can't grow any fucking facial hair at all.
It's pretty sad. He's
basically barely got any eyebrows to start.
Right. He wants to be dyed blonde as well. Like this. He wants this.
Really?
Yeah.
God, that's gonna be fucking odd.
Yeah, I can't wait. That'd be good.
Imagine if you did when he had his long hair.
Oh, that would take so long.
It would be like a really shit Kurt Cobain. Because that's basically the hair he had at that point. Kurt Cobain.
Yeah. That would just take too long to dye that. This took like a good 4 hours.
More professional by yourself.
Just by myself. When I got it professionally done before, it took about 3.5. That's including washing it though.
Yeah.
So, it takes a while. I mean, obviously, this compared to his is quite short compared to his long hair.
The hair he's got now is quite, well, it's medium, I would say.
Yeah.
Like mine is short as fuck.
Like on the sides, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so boring why we're talking about hair.
There's fuck all else to talk about. Emails with fucking bike on.
Bite on there, let's go on fucking Snapchat news or whatever.
Oh no, I've got one thing I'll literally turn you straight on.
What?
Kawasaki Ninja.
Oh, Kawasaki Ninja's nice. That's a nice bike. That's honestly a really nice bike. It's one of the best looking bikes there is. In green though, in green.
Did I show you the orange one?
I think you did, it doesn't look that good.
Yeah.
The thing is, have you seen the Kawasaki 125s?
They don't look as nice.
No, they don't. It's the green one that looks awful because it's barely green. It's
green and black.
It's green, black, and yellow. There's more yellow than there is green, even though it's a green and black bike. But the black one has got green on it, like a bit of green, and the black one looks better, I think.
I haven't looked at them in ages.
The blue one's alright, but the green one is because there's too much yellow on it.
But like, if you get the normal like 250 Kawasaki,
they
are
Ninja.
fucking nice.
Beautiful.
Even though I don't really like.
Yeah, I like sports bikes for the sun. Nice.
I would say if I had chosen a sport bike, I'd probably go for a Ninja.
Yeah, I can't even really hang there.
Considering which you, oh god, I'm in that fucking shop. And I shot myself. Because remember, I saw him with Harley. I think it was a Harley.
Oh,
and
I
put it up and the alarm went off. I was like, fuck.
Just everyone starts looking at you like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, that was a nice fucking bike.
It was a nice bike, I'll give you that.
Harleys are fucking nice.
I think we'll insert a photo. Ninja. Oh, Harley. I'll come up so people know what to talk about.
I know, considering one of the fucking jokes at a Christmas dinner was bad.
Then
our lady's told me because I'm a bike bloke. Oh, what bike does Santa ride?
What?
A Harley Davidson.
Well, when you don't need to be a bike person and get that joke.
Yeah. It's just, that's fucking shit.
Yeah, that is really shit.
And it's basically just ruining the name of one of the nicest bike brands out there.
Yeah, shit.
Because to be honest, you probably got Harley's probably the top bike brand out there, then Kawasaki, Honda, and ones like that. Because I think Kawasaki is probably one of the bigger bike brands.
Well, it's black, white, red all over and sparkly.
Fucking
A
right.
penguin wearing tinsel and a blender.
Okay.
My boss put that exact joke on the Facebook page for work. I think it was funny.
That was something stupid.
Exactly. They just asked on Facebook page, you know, everyone works, you can see that we use the Facebook page to advertise shifts and say thank you and all that to people who come in and all that. And they put, oh, happy birthday on someone's birthday. And she's putting crap like that. Like she posts a crap Christmas joke every day. I'll go get some up. They're honestly awful. And that was the first one she put on. But I'm taking this jacket off. It's getting a bit warm. And now that they know that it's just a couple of days, hours, minutes even afterwards.
It's a fag break apart.
What?
It's literally fag break apart.
Yeah.
A fag break and teacher.
Alright.
Shirt change.
Did I tell you? My ex's new boyfriend tried to add us on Facebook.
Oh god.
He looks like a fucking mom, doesn't he? I'm sorry, but like, how much of a pretentious dick can you be?
God, he looks like a proper egotistical prick.
Doesn't he? And fuck off. I know I've got a big ego.
He looks even more egotistical than you do.
It still says he's single on his Facebook page. To be fair, I didn't update mine to say I was going out with her. It's for about between 5 and 7 months.
So literally not long before you broke up.
No, we were together a year.
Yeah. So you waited to make a Facebook official.
Yeah. I just regret breaking up with them sometimes, you know. It's just shit.
And now we're depressing.
Yeah, depressing. Let's not do this because this isn't fun. I can't find the jokes. 'Cause people, I think they've either been taken down or they've posted so much crap.
Probably the latter.
There we go. Why did Santa go to hospital? Because he had tonsillitis. Exactly, like, see what I mean? They're awful.
Fuck!
How does Christmas angels greet each other? Or how do Christmas angels greet each other? Hello.
I'm getting a knife and done myself.
Last one. What is Santa's favourite film? Nightmare on Elm Street. Just no.
Does this person just have like a stockpile
Well, they're shit, aren't they?
of old jokes out of crackers?
They
And
must-
you
they
just
must
have
cracker
keep
jokes.
the cracker jokes from.
They're just not good.
Oh god, my head's fucking killing me.
You decided to smash it off the table.
Yeah, I
it's your
know.
own fault. Fucking, I'm tired, man.
Mate, I didn't wake up until like 9 this morning.
No, I went to bed.
Quarter to 8.
I went to bed about.
Quarter to 10.
I went to bed about 4. I got up about 8. And I'd just done. I was at 4. At work.
Yeah.
Then I was at work. So
And
when
then
I-
take
when-
it you fell asleep for a few hours.
When I finished work, I was awake for 24 hours straight. And I got home, I think it was about 26 hours, and I went to sleep for about 2 hours, woke up, and then I was awake from 8 till 4, which is what?
Well, I was.
Can't be honest with you. That's like another 8.
I was awake
hours.
from like 8 o'clock and about 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, through to about 6 on the Saturday, the Sunday morning. So literally about 20 hours, and I kept for about an hour.
I'm just doing some maths. What time is it? Like 1:30. So in the past 40, in the last 45 hours, I've had about 6 hours sleep.
And to be honest, I didn't go to bed until about 4 or 5 this morning.
I went to bed at 4. Because I was up all night watching YouTube.
I was up all night talking no ass.
Don't you bastard. Like, I was on a Meagle. Right?
Oh god.
Right, honestly, right.
This is a fucking fun
it was
topic, mate.
because I found someone and they were really nice lads and I liked talking to them, right? And it was going really well, and then my Wi-Fi just fucked up.
Oh, so you got disconnected.
And I got disconnected, right? But what I want to do, I think we should make like a full YouTube video about this at some point, just on Omegle, because
Or literally just all of us on Omegle.
because I tried
Just
to catfish someone just for the crack. I thought it'd be funny.
I'll go and try fucking Snapchat account just to catfish him.
Because normally, right, what they'll do is they'll put M,
Yeah.
and you just like, right, if you want and look, because a lot of people go on there looking for like
Nudes.
slutty lasses and nudes and shit like that. But this guy just had to take a step further. He went horny M, right? Yeah, honestly, it's all real. I'm not making any.
Wait, let's have a look at
Yeah, I'm
this.
going to read it out here. So you got something. I know you what. Should we do a role play? So you read the red, I'll read the blue.
Oh, no, fuck off, man.
Go on.
Horny M.
Slutty female.
Age.
21. You.
What's your age, my slut? Same, but almost 22.
I'm 22 in February. How horny are you?
Nice B, wanna snap my I can't fucking read this.
Yeah, it's really bad, isn't he?
Nice B, wanna snap my slut? Question mark, winky face. Very.
Talk dirty to me. If you're good enough, you might get my Snapchat. You see, like, honestly.
Oh, fuck, do
Yeah.
I have to? Wanna leave you bruised so you can't walk straight after.
So I just went going into detail.
Nah, fuck that. All I read, want to tie you up and blindfold you, and my brain went, fuck this shit.
I want to tie you up and blindfold you, hit your slutty ass with my belt till it's bright red. Ben, he thinks I'm a lass at this point. I went, choke me daddy, because that's what some like weird people say. And it just is, it's worth it. And he goes, I'd pull your hair and I'd pound you with my meat. So I asked him how big it was. He just goes, get you off the sea, won't be disappointed. So this is why I decided to go, I just want him to go into full detail. And to be fair, what I was saying kind of turned me on a bit. So I was talking to him as a lass. I was thinking, if a lass tells me I'd like this. So that's why I wanted to go for it. So
basically what you're saying was you turning yourself on.
Kind of. So I said, I'm going to rub my hands all over your body, towards your pants and push them down into your boxes. And I'll whip your cock out and start to play. I'm a good lassie, gosh, you have to admit. So you want to be stuffing as much meat or fingers in as many holes as possible. Spells holes wrong, so it says as many homes as possible. And then so he says he wants to stuff his fingers and meat into as many homes as possible. So I think he's going to cut his fingers off and force them.
Fair enough, and his dick.
And then so I'm still talking about his cock. I'll give it a good lick before I throw it into my mouth. And he goes, no baby girl, can't wait for dinner. I have no idea what the fuck he's going on about. Right. Honestly, this is where it gets funny, right?
You know, one thing, just quickly pause. Demonetised.
Fuck it, right. So he goes, we'll just Yankee Candle it. So I told him, I'll suck you till you're dry. Have you not seen Will and Aid? No. So instead of saying like cock, he says Yankee Candle when he's on Tinder. So I'll suck you till you're dry. With your trousers around your ankles, I'll throw you on the bed. And then he goes, I'd leave your legs shaking for minutes on end. This is the best part, right? Honestly. You're going to piss yourself. I'll flip you over and run my cock right into your peachy ass. This is what I said. So he just sends a question mark and I go, I have a cock. Stranger's disconnected. So yeah. Right, but the other one, right, I think this is shocking, right? Because this is a lad, he's 15, and he's a massive bellend just for doing this. She just goes, 15, looking for horny white girl, will send. At his opening line, well, how often does that fucking work? So I thought of a bit of fun with him. I'm horny, female, 16. So he asks for me snap, but I go, but black. Second I say I'm black, he disconnects.
Oh, what a racist.
Like, honestly, what a bellend. Like, how can you...
Omeagle's funny as fuck.
It is funny as fuck.
So basically what you're saying is, get like a video for a decent 3 hours or so. Is probably how.
No, not 3 hours long. I'm not going to do it that long.
No, a decent couple hours of literally just us messing around.
Probably about 10-20 minutes.
Yeah. Of us, actually no, it's going to take longer than that. Well, if we do it for a decent couple hours and then edit it down. Yeah.
So if that's something you're willing to see, leave a comment down below and say that's what you want.
So basically, us fucking with people with no Omegle.
Yeah.
Is basically.
But the thing is though, a lot of people are going on Omegle are arseholes anyway, and they're literally going on saying, I want to see tits. So if that, because he said he's 15, he wanted a white female willing to send, and the other guy straight away going, I'm male and I'm horny as fuck. That's it, they're opening lines, they deserve to be fucked with.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and you also can do a count of how many dickheads you get, how many butts you get.
Oh, honestly, I was on last night, so I have like a tally in the corner. Yeah, arseholes, bots. And the thing is, though, you'll connect with someone and you won't say anything. So you'll start. Yeah, so you'll connect and nothing at all. I met this one guy, I came across it all, there was one guy, he didn't go into the details, he wasn't like, because a lot of them will go, are you male or female? If you say male, they'll disconnect. Mm-hmm. He didn't ask if I was male or female. He seemed like a really nice guy. He was like, he was like, how are you? And I was like, oh, I'm alright, thank you. He's like, oh, pretty shit to be fair. I was like, oh, what's up? He's saying he was, so there's this lass he's talking to, he was kind of arguing with her or whatever, and he says it was kind of his fault, he's took it over proportion. But she's asleep and he can't even say sorry, and he's really upset because she's been feeling really shit, and the fact that he could lose has made it worse. Mm-hmm. But the thing is though, like, he told us his name was Luke, and at that point, because obviously Gemma's new boyfriend's is Luke, and when he said that,
I was thinking about the other one.
Oh no, I'm not thinking about that one. If it was the other Luke, like,
you would have told him to go kill him.
I would have came to his house and knocked his fucking teeth in. But no, I thought it was and because he said that she was asleep. I was thinking, well, Jim was asleep. Maybe there's a really small chance. So I asked her, "Oh, what's her name?" She said, "I was Megan or something," which we're going to bleep out for because Luke actually is thinking about it. We were talking about it a lot, and I was giving him some advice, and I wanted to help him, want to talk to him. So I sent him a Snapchat and went, "Look, add us on Snapchat." Let's see how it is. Turns out he's not American, he lives in Birmingham. So he lives in England. So he's like, "Oh, have a good rest of your day." I went, "Oh, I live in it's 3 o'clock where I am." He said, "Oh, same mate. Where are you from? Like England?" I went, "Same boy." So he lives in Birmingham, and got him on Snapchat. I've asked him how it's gone. He hasn't responded yet. I just hope it goes well with him. I honestly, from what I haven't known that long, but he seemed like canny lass.
Canny lass?
Canny lad, fuck off. And he seems like he's a bit upset about like the possibility that he could lose it, and obviously me going through a very similar situation recently. I know what it's like, so I wouldn't want to be in. I'm in a bad situation myself with that, and so knowing what he's going through, it's not a nice place to be in. Even though I don't really know much, I want to make sure he's alright. He sounds like a good lad.
Well, this would have been total at the minute. We've been going on for about an hour.
Whoa! Where, lads? Boylan's got a 2. Might as well, I've got nothing to do. But,
I might fucking kick you out of my house.
Well, yeah, other than that, but I've got nothing to do with it.
No.
Once I've got kicked out, I'll just go down and buy presents and go home.
I need to head into Durham anyway.
We'll get the bus together then, whenever it is.
Fucking pardon me. Well, do you want to end it on that depressing note, or get a bit more beat?
Come on.
Get it on
Can't
your
leave
beat.
it depressing as fuck like that. So wrist and all that, glad I actually mentioned that word. We're going to blank that out because I didn't actually say that. Blank out that word that I just said, yeah.
Okay, I have no clue because I wasn't really paying attention. I was thinking, what the fuck am I doing?
Well, when you watch back, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah.
Eagle's quite fun, and I think we could get a good video from that. But if you do, I think like, Emerald's very similar, but you can send photos on it, can't you? So you just got a lot of assholes. Do you know what I mean?
No, I fuck with people in Emerald. Yeah.
Because your phone's over there.
Yeah, my phone's being used to record. It was basically got connected with this lass. She was about 30 odd. She basically uses opposite of that, but like basically female horny.
Yeah.
I was like, just for the crack, I'll play along with it. Basically, got her. She was like demanding me to send her a dick pic.
Woman could be just as bad as men, right?
I went, okay, I'll do it as long as you send first.
Before you even told her to send, she'd send.
Yeah, she decided straight up tit pic. And I just went, alright, okay, thanks for that, bye. And just disconnected the tit pic.
I had this
I
last.
still got that on my phone.
I added this last on Snapchat. The second I added her, she sent us nudes. Never met her before. Don't even know what she was. Second I added her.
Demonetized, age restricted.
Second I sent Yankee Candle pictures.
We are literally gonna have a look.
But you're just gonna have to like break.
Oh no, comes in what Ethan was telling us earlier before you rocked it was he went out shopping with his lass and basically grabbing his hand, pulling him around saying, "Come on, daddy. Come on, brother."
I don't get the daddy kink. I
don't.
Why?
You know,
Yeah. Because
it's creepy.
it's weird as fuck. Like, who wants to shag the dad?
People from Alabama, that's about it. But
I mean, that's her sister, isn't it?
it's both, isn't it?
Yeah. Everyone.
Anyone in Alabama.
What do you call a redneck virgin? Someone who can run faster than her brothers.
Yeah.
But I don't get it. It's like, come. And I don't like lads. I think lads who are like, oh yeah, let's don't talk. Because I was
No, but you respect the lass. You know, you don't do that shit around me.
Because right, I was with this lass and we were having sex, right? And she wanted us to choke her, but I didn't want to choke her because I didn't feel comfortable doing it. Because I cared, right? Because honestly, I cared about this lass like a lot. So I was going up there, I get fucking shit done, and I choked her like there, but yeah, I didn't do it that much.
Okay. I would never have expected that.
She wanted to try it. She wanted to know what it was like. Because I decided about Like, she wanted to be tied down and that sort of stuff. It was a fantasy that she wanted to try.
So if I get right BDSM. Is that
Kind of, but not that far. Yeah.
Well, semi BDSM.
Yeah, semi. I didn't really want to. Like, I didn't feel comfortable like dominating over it that much. So personal views on that, but I don't really get it. And like
dominating things fucking weird.
And like watching porn, like it's not real. Like, yes, it's film, but it's nothing sex. It's over the top.
Like, what's the chance of you getting plumb around your house and then getting shot?
I'm not meaning that. I'm not meaning the storyline.
I'm not. This is fucking bad. Oh god, Ethan would have been.
In the last year, I must have had sex
20 times.
200 times, right? I had about 4 blowjobs. Every porn video I watch is a blowjob every time we have sex.
Yeah.
It's not like that. They're not going to suck your cock that much, for a start. Yeah. And then there's like, they're doing it in the funny positions, like her legs round his head, he's going, like, do you? Like, yeah, I don't, you don't just do missionary, but you're not, like, they're in some weird fucking positions sometimes.
Like, probably the ones that you more see is missionary, doggy, and both versions of cowbell. You understand?
I've done the first two.
Like, they're probably the ones that you actually were going to use in real life.
The one on the chair, they're like you.
Where were we before my phone ran out of storage?
Yeah, so the phone's gone, so we're back on the main camera.
So we had the camera. The camera died.
Yeah.
And then we had to take my phone to the tripod. And then my phone ran out of storage. So in that time when we recorded my phone, well, the camera managed to get a bit of charging, so we're now using that just to basically finish this off.
I just have to put the camera, upload it from my phone onto the laptop and then delete straight off your phone. Cause
I'll probably go through my phone and delete some shit.
Yeah, I need to delete some stuff on my phone as well. Honestly, my phone, so like, most of it is just memes. That's genuine what most of my photos are.
I need to upload mine onto like Google Photos so I can actually delete them off my phone.
The thing is, I've got Google Photos as well and I still don't delete them.
My phone's a Google phone, so I automatically have access to it.
Yeah. When I got my new phone and they transferred my photos over, they did it via the Google Photos account.
Kind of
because it was basically easier because it was going to take so long to send all the contacts over because I had so many.
Oh yeah.
And all the photos. And I had over 8,000 photos on one phone.
No.
But the thing is, most of them are memes.
Get one topic just to finish off on. Because this has probably been gone for over an hour.
Yeah,
before the camera died, we had about 20 odd minutes of footage.
About half an hour.
About half an hour on the camera. And the phone was about half an hour. So this is knocking over an hour-ish.
Just fun, like, people listen to this for an hour straight.
Yeah.
Thing is, like, my voice, honestly, I think they'll get annoyed with.
I think you still hate me for giving my photo away.
The one of the me with.
Yeah, you hate me for that.
It's just not, I just don't look good in the photo. I've got massive lips in it. Like, I know I've got big lips in general, but they look even bigger in that photo. My nose looks straight rather than bad like it is. A proper Roman nose.
Okay, and what we're going to finish off on, do you just want to end this here?
Whoa! That's it! Whoa! And that's it.
Fuck everything, guys.
So if this is coming out after Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be.
What did you get for Christmas?
Fuck no! We are recording this on the 23rd of
That was
December.
the joke! Gotta explain it.
No one you probably got Moby Huge. Or would that be Ethan? Ethan got Moby Huge.
I don't know, I don't really care. I don't know what I'm going to get, it don't really matter.
I just know I'm getting cash.
I'll let you do. I think a good way to end it is the New Year's coming up soon, isn't it? You got any resolutions?
Don't get drunk in Mali.
You're going for your holiday?
Yeah, I'm getting Mali and I don't want to get spiked.
No one wants to get spiked for, stop really.
Because I can't go spike rings in bed on. I don't know, you got properly spiked. You almost sort of started a fight with Ethan's dad. in Rendon.
He can buy stuff. How? You do?
No, there was a bloke who looked exactly
Oh,
like
right.
Gavin.
I thought you actually meant his
No.
dad.
Because he was dancing with this lass and this bloke just kept staring at this lass and like asking if he could come back to the hotel then.
So you wanted a threesome?
With Callum who was 16, this lass who would be 17 and he was probably about 40.
And he was wanting a threesome?
No, I think he just wanted
I'm getting the
lass.
words.
Nods!
Nods.
I know you can stand though.
Oh, you can't say it. No,
You do not fuck with
You would have pinned him up against the wall.
Hmm?
And he asked for money. He told him to hurry up because he needed to go to college. Yeah, pinned him up against the wall. And he was like, fine, I'll just go without the money.
Hmm.
It's quite
Yeah.
funny.
Okay, do you want to do the outro?
Outro with the hit and the wall.
Because you literally look like you're about to fall asleep.
I'm not about to fall asleep, it's just...
You look like it.
I look like it. Someone asked at work asked us if I was high. Because I was like... no, I'm not high.
Not like me, he's going to work, come over. I've gone to work, come home.
I went shotgun shooting and then work. Now I was drinking on the Saturday until like 5 o'clock Sunday morning. Went to bed for about 2 hours. Went shotgun shooting, and then as soon as I finished shotgun shooting, I went to work.
No, I was when we were down the woods, I had work in the next day.
Really, look at that.
Yeah, and we were all quite bad afterwards.
Yeah, a bit.
I know James just went home and stuff.
Yeah, look, you bastard, because he lived there. It was like right next to his house.
And we had like 2 hours.
I went to Dartmoor, I think. Didn't I?
Yeah, you went to go and see Gemma.
Whoa! And then every time we mention the name, I think I'm just going to hit the wall.
The desk. Bang your head off it.
I'm not banging my head off the desk.
I didn't.
Because that fucking hurt you, didn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
I did it like 5 times though.
I've got a headache as it is. If I do it once, my head will explode. I'll go,
Alright.
fucking, that'll be a coloured photo at the end of it.
Fair enough.
But at least though, we don't have anything fucking off whilst we're doing it this time.
Yeah. Oh well then, I'll let you finish.
Right, so...
A bit more energy.
A bit more energy, right, so that's... Oh, we bring it to a close there. And that's what, this is number 2, yeah?
Yeah, episode 2.
Episode 2.
Which is really fucking bad as it stands at the minute. It's gone from one camera to another to back to the
The
first.
thing is though, normally we're not going to try and film them 2 back to back. It's because we film them back to back.
The camera's stuck.
And the cameras died because they couldn't really handle it. What we'll need to do is, like, in the future, get some investors, get more money, get like multiple camera angles, multiple cameras.
And better fucking
And
lighting.
some microphones.
And lights.
Oh, I get some lights as well, lighting. But honestly, it's just a bit
Because
fun.
literally all we've had is the light in my dining room and the fucking sunlight, which is now gone.
Like, well, me, he uses a lot of sunlight to get it all in.
I've got a fucking driving up and head and everything. Oh, I'm gonna have fun.
Ah, you're having fun, mate.
First one's either coming out today or tomorrow, I'm not sure.
So,
Anyway.
you have to send it one. So, we'll wrap things up there. Like I said, the Instagram and the Twitter's down in the description, description below.
And I'll try and put on the card. It can be
You can
off.
put it in the card, it'll be up there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah.
It can be off.
So if you haven't seen the other video, you should go watch that. That'll be should be below. So I should link as they can. Feel free to subscribe and like the video if you want.
Come on, calling them a nonce.
Don't do that. If you want to leave a comment, like a funny comment, hey you guys, do that.
Oh, if you want to give us any like ideas,
Anything you
videos.
want us to talk about in the future, leave it in the comments below.
Oh yeah, and let us know what you think about fucking Omegle idea.
Yes, if the Omega idea, I would give it a like goal to hit if you want to do it, but I don't think that we have enough viewers to do a like goal.
90% of subscribers or people watching it don't like it. I think it's literally like 1% like the video.
Honestly, it's right, so we're not going to go for a like goal, but just comment down below if you think that Omega idea is good.
And
Any other ideas, leave them down below. We'll have a look, we'll see what you think. So what we might do if they're good enough, so we'll still have the weekly podcast upload, yeah, but then we'll also
Weekly.
fuck buddies, when they're going to come out, like maybe Thursday or Friday, I think we'll send them out. Actually, this one's not gonna. The first one's gonna come out on thing. The first one came out on Wednesday, didn't it? Whatever, and then this one's coming out on Friday. So they're gonna normally come out about on a Friday or Saturday, I think. But then if you want us to do
I'll probably get them up on a Thursday.
on a Thursday or something, yeah. So round about then. So every week should do. But then if
Hopefully.
hopefully, if you want us to do other videos as well as the podcast, so obviously the Omegle one will be another one on the top of that. We'll give that we'll put more up than in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have like a playlist thing podcast. So
You're thinking a bit too far ahead.
I've run on a lot, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
I keep checking the lens, making sure it hasn't gone in, the camera hasn't gone.
So leave a like, subscribe, follow the Twitters and Instagram, and that's yeah. CA3SAR.
So yeah.